Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll get into it.
Oh man, I'm just not much of an introduction. I was just gonna have a debate with this guy over. I don't know if I'd necessarily call it the shape of the Earth. I don't even know if the shape of the Earth is known, but my understanding of it is to be stationary. Flat, I don't really consider it to be a shape, but there's definitely no doubt in the back of my mind, and as far as I see what reality has shown me, stationary is probably the wisest choice anyone can choose for their reality. What about the electromagnetism speech that I gave? You found that funny. Well, I think we all understand how electromagnetism works through the push and pull of ions. And that's how I describe the way the sun and the moon orbit above us. That's my explanation. That's my understanding of it. That's what I see through molecules and the push and pull of these molecules, of these ions. I mean, other than that, that's pretty self-explanatory. I know people like to.
So what you're saying that electromagnetism keeps the sun up?
Yes, I believe that the moon and the sun are these forms of these ions, and through that they create this magnetic field over Earth, and it allows them to push and pull between the North Pole and the outer edges of our Earth, which some people call the South Pole, Antarctica, the ice ring. I think there's that field from the ice ring, from the North Pole, Earth, the sun and the moon, and it creates the field, and it allows them to levitate, and I believe they fluctuate up and down and in a circular motion. So, and I believe my understanding of electromagnetism is that. So
Don't worry about like toning it down a little bit. I did go to university for electrical engineering. This is my math book, so you can get as technical as you want with it. I can handle it. But so what about so you think that electromagnetism is the eons and the ions that is the holding up the sun?
Yes, the molecules, the atmosphere, all that, it all plays a role in it. You know, there's times where you can see it during the day. You can literally see the moon from midnight the night before all the way to midnight the night after. You know, so it's out. I've seen it out for over 24 hours. And
when is the moon been visible for 24 hours? I don't know if I've seen that before.
The moon, yeah. Oh, yeah. I see it. It happens quite a bit, actually.
So what latitude was this at?
What latitude?
Yeah, what latitude did you see the moon for 24 hours?
Well, the degrees change hourly, but it just seems like it's at a slower pace.
So you don't know the latitude you live in.
No, I really don't, man.
But you have seen the moon for 24 hours. Okay. And so then would you say like the sun is an ion and the moon is an eon?
Well, it almost feels like the moon, or it seems like the moon sometimes plays both roles. I mean, it seems like it's able to, how should I put this? It fluctuates between eons and ions more than the sun does, where the sun is purely more of a proton, right?
What so since you mentioned that you understand electromagnetism, what's your background, just so that we know?
What kind of background do you have to be able to understand your reality?
Like I said, like this is most of my other books I didn't keep, but this is my math book here. It was
Yeah,
it's a lot of math, a lot of
yeah.
calculus
Like
and stuff. It is that was
that's a big ass book, dude.
indeed. Okay, like if I got my multimeter out, would I be able to measure the electromagnetic field generated by the sun and moon?
Have you ever measured it with it?
Yes.
So what's the measurement?
0.
Oh,
Yeah.
didn't see that coming.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a, so what is the height of the sun then, above the flat earth?
I think the dome is no higher than 200 miles. So I think it can fluctuate between, 190 miles to, let's say 36,000 feet.
36,000 feet. That's pretty
Yes,
low. Airplanes
about
fly
6 miles.
airplanes fly higher than that.
Yes, they do.
So
You mean spacecraft?
no, an airplane, a commercial airplane flies higher than 36,000 feet.
Oh, well, yes, but a space station, a spacecraft, it's intended to go beyond major portion of Earth's atmosphere.
I was just talking about airplanes. You said the dome was 36,000 feet.
Right. But
So
the major portion of Earth's atmosphere is 75%. It's 3/4. That's 36,000 feet. So when you hop in an airplane, you're actually hopping in a spacecraft. From ground up, that's 36,000 feet. That's Earth's atmosphere. So when you send a space station into the sky, you're sending it around 36,000 feet.
But an airplane isn't a space station. You're saying it's a...
No, I'm not saying an airplane is a space station. I said it was a spacecraft.
But the Kármán line is already a definition for the edge of space.
Well, the major portion of Earth's atmosphere is 36,000 feet. So anything above that is considered space.
But by you.
No, by definition.
But what, can you cite the definition then?
I just did.
It sounds like it's just you have picked that definition, not that other people have. So you are citing yourself. How high is the dome again, that you think?
Probably maybe a little more than 200 miles.
And all right, so then you have measurements of this.
I don't have measurements of it. I've never been to the dome.
Are you aware that you can measure things without just going there? There's other ways to measure things, right? You know that.
Yeah, but I like to see people, actually do things and then listen to them as they go along. But with the Hubble telescope, what is it, about 200 miles?
Why? Where did the Hubble telescope come into this?
So we're just talking about globe facts, right?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the Hubble is
Hubble a globe thing.
Yeah, it's in orbit. It's not an extremely high
Okay,
orbit.
so it's in orbit about 200 miles, right?
I think it's more, but
Yeah.
I can get a better number.
It's
for
around
you.
the exosphere, right? It's pretty close to the exosphere.
Okay.
You know, we have these things on the moon that you could, possibly
Alexa,
zoom
stop.
in and be like, hey, it's right there. But I've never seen it, so
if you've never
I've
seen
never seen a
something, does that
flag
make
over
it?
it.
If you've never seen something, does that make it stop existing?
Yes, it does.
Oh. Have you been to France?
No, I've not been to France.
Does France exist?
It's possible.
Wow. That's it? That's all you've got is it's possible.
Well, I mean, your question is a straw man. So
No, you said if you haven't seen something, it doesn't exist. And you've not seen France. So by that logic, France stopped existing.
Yeah, but that's a straw man argument. And I'm talking about a flag and a reflector on the moon that I've never seen.
So you changed the rules then. So it's not just about you seeing it. It's about you being able to book a flight to go see it.
It's not even about that. I'm just saying it's not something that I can do.
For reference, I looked it up. 350 miles is the Hubble telescope.
Well, you can thank social media, the mainstream media for the 200-mile hike instead of the 350 miles.
I would suggest do your own research. Your height of the dome you got from listening to an interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Is that about?
Well, I never said that was the height of the dome.
Oh.
I think the dome is no higher than 200 miles.
Well, certainly
Not
people
people have that observation.
Yeah, but certainly people went to the moon. There were. I
mean, how do you know that?
Well, I personally spoke to Charlie Duke.
Well, you've gone to the moon?
Who went to the moon? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you've gone to the moon.
No, I personally spoke to Charlie Duke. Science doesn't require a person to do everything. That's not science. That's science denialism.
Yeah, they literally take photo composites of Earth and then they CGI them to fit a spherical Earth.
So CGI. Now, computer graphics didn't really exist until the 80s, and even then it was pretty poor.
80s, I don't know, man. Have you ever seen the 1933 Kong?
It was terrible. And that wasn't computer. So when you say CGI, that's computer graphics. So the C part of CGI is computer. So
it is.
Yeah.
I agree, but it's still the same. Regardless,
it's still the same,
and it was horrible. It was a horrible freaking movie.
Yeah, but that's not, of course, what I would point to as evidence of the Earth. So,
but that's 1933, and their globe Earth that they had in 1933 that nobody had ever seen at the time. It came out. The first thing that this movie showed was Universal, and then this big old globe that nobody had ever seen until the 70s.
40s.
The 40s. Well, they had a 1946 photo of Earth, but it wasn't a full globe. I can tell you that. 8 inches per mile squared.
Wrong formula.
Wrong formula?
That's the wrong formula. That's always been the wrong formula. It's never been the right formula.
So why is it used?
It's not used by anybody to predict the amount hidden.
So you're telling me I go to Florida and I zoom into Cuba over 1,000 miles.
Nobody's ever done that, but do continue. This is funny.
And you can literally see Cuba from Florida.
No, you can't.
You can't?
I've never seen that. That's crazy. Oh, keep going though. This is good. This is good.
Okay. So how is that done with the curvature at 8 inches per mile squared?
Well, it's not. And Cuba there. So 95 there. I can go down to here. It gets a little
95 miles.
96.
That's
So about the
a mile
closest there. Right there. Now to
Still
calculate
5,000 feet.
Yeah. So now, do you have a photograph of this that you said has happened?
No.
No. Okay. So I will say then that nobody has ever photographed it.
Okay.
I'll say what can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence.
Right, like the moon landing.
No, the moon landing has lots of evidence.
Level, by definition, is flat, not having one part higher than the other.
Well, that would be wrong.
So the horizon
hold
line.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Definition.
Just a second. I've got the definition of level right here for people to look at. I'll share the screen
I've got it too,
so you can see it.
I'll even share it in the group later.
Right there. There's what does level mean? Right here,
right.
From a book published in 1814. There's newer ones, but this is a nice one because it shows that this has been around a long time. Leveling. So we got the true level is a curve conforming to the surface of the earth as ABG. And if you see right there, that big curve, ABG, A at the top, B on the right, G down farther on the right. It's curving. That is the definition of the word level. Now, I don't just have one definition. I have about 45 definitions of level on this webpage right here. Here's another one. This is a newer one.
In those 45 definitions, you should see level, flat, not having any one part higher than the other.
Yeah, that's not the when the definition of level is referring to the surface of the earth, there's a different definition than the one that you're talking about. So here's another one. Level surface is a curve.
Definitions to fit your model.
I'm sorry. These, like I said, these definitions have been around for a long time. This one was published in 1814, more than 200 years ago.
Right.
The version of this
has been around a long time.
Yes. So the definition of level.
If I go to level this building over here,
that's a different definition of level.
Not one part. No, it's
that's
not.
A different definition.
It's math.
Yeah, it's a different definition of level. When we're talking about the surface of the earth, there's a definition for level. When you're talking about doing things in the construction industry, that's a different version of level. When you're
insane right now. Do you hear yourself?
Well, I'm just showing the definition of level on screen. Everybody can see right now that you are the one.
Literally just gave the definition of
level.
You
are the one rejecting the definition of level that I have showing on the screen right now. I'm not the one rejecting anything.
That definition of level contradicts level. It doesn't match level.
It sounds to me like you are using yourself as the citation again. Andrew, hold on a second. While you're in that dictionary, please look up the word earth. Don't cherry pick.
It's going to say stationary and flat.
No, it won't.
Yes, it will.
The dictionary does not say the earth is stationary and flat.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my gosh!
When you put composite photos,
no, your claim is that the dictionary
says the shape of the earth.
You're saying that. Oh my gosh!
You're killing me, Smalls.
So you're telling me that the definition of earth does not say stationary or flat?
Sir, definitely does not say that in any dictionary. No. I mean, unless you got a Flurf dictionary, but I don't care.
I mean, I'm about to put one together.
You're gonna put your own dictionary together. So again, you're gonna go with yourself as the citation.
And
oh my goodness!
And I'm gonna even call it the Flurf dictionary.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, it's good humor. You have redefined the definition of level. You've cherry picked. You have cherry picked the definition for the word level that you want.
That level has multiple definitions. So how did I just redefine it if it's one of the definitions?
Yeah, it's the wrong definition of it. You are using it the wrong way. When speaking of the surface of the earth, level is a curve conforming to the surface of the earth as ABG. And if you see right there, that big curve, Level is a curved surface. When talking about the construction industry, it's a whole different thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't apply to this definition.
That's Earth.
So, all right. So you just hand wave deny the actual definition of level. Okay. Is that a good
definition of level? It doesn't matter what book it's in. The definition of level is, in fact, not having one part higher than the other.
Are you sure? I mean, it's on the screen that it's different. I'm literally showing a book that disagrees with yourself, your own personal claim.
No, it's not an own personal claim. It's literally a definition of level I just given you. It's not cherry picking.
It absolutely is the definition of cherry picking to deny one particular version of something and instead pick a different version of it.
I understand what cherry picking is, and it's not what that is.
Oh, well then what is cherry picking?
Cherry picking, that's me choosing bits and pieces of information given instead of taking everything into context.
Absolutely. So that is what you're doing then. You agree that you're cherry picking.
That's not
because
what I'm doing.
Here is
you told me
45 definitions of
it.
45 definitions of level that you cherry pick away. A definition of level you wanted from the dictionary. I gave you a definition from the dictionary. You didn't like this particular one, so you cherry pick away this one. So
I don't like it because there's no curve.
Oh, well then you have measurements of that. Maybe show the measurements.
8 inches per mile squared. 8 inches per mile squared.
Well, it's the wrong formula, but
no curve.
Can you show the measurements of flatness then? Go ahead.
All you have to do is take a level and put it on your porch.
Okay.
And when that little bubble stands in the center of those lines, that's also a measurement of flat Earth.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
Andrew, I want to be clear. You declared that putting a level, a bubble level, a spirit level on your porch somehow proves that the Earth is flat. So I'm asking, how would it behave differently?
That's a tool. That's a measurement tool.
How would it behave differently if the Earth were a globe? And you can't even answer that question. Therefore, you can't quantify the difference between your two positions there.
I can't answer that question.
And therefore, you fail.
I don't live on a globe. I'd have to live on a globe to understand that question.
I think there might be some other. There might be some other reasons that you might need to understand.
You stupid.
Where would we find the measurements of flatness? You must have reviewed them.
The Earth is 61,000 miles.
What's that?
Is no more than 61,000 miles. The circumference of the Earth.
Okay. Why? So
that's the outer ring. That's where That's where the flat earthers get their ice wall.
Okay.
And that ring that
where was
wrecks
this
around.
How was this measured?
Earth,
how is it measured?
You can calculate that. Well, you can calculate that just off the number 24,100 miles at the equator.
Okay. And so it wasn't it's
but
just
the equator at 24,000.
So assuming flat Earth, then you can get that. And so yes, that would be your hypothesis. Where's the measurements then?
The circumference, the diameter, these.
Okay, and
61,000 miles.
And who measured that?
Probably Magellan.
Magellan measured the circumference of 60,000 miles.
Sir Isaac Byrd.
Sir Isaac Byrd.
Yeah, one of those guys.
Sir Isaac Byrd. Interesting.
Is that not his name?
No.
You know, that general that took this fleet of soldiers and they went to the ice wall. I think it's Sir Isaac Byrd, wasn't it?
I think it was Jake Byrd when he went to the 2019 Flat Earth Convention in Dallas. Oh, that's funny. There it is.
You've never heard of him.
Oh, I heard of him. I'm a big fan of Sir Isaac Byrd. If a
he had
couple-
this expedition. This guy.
Sure.
He
Yeah.
went to the ice wall,
Uh-huh.
and I think he spent 6 months circling,
Uh-huh.
and he came to a measurement of 60. I'd say roughly 61,000 miles.
Roughly. Okay. I'm
Unless I
pretty
can
sure.
prove their claims.
I'm pretty
be
sure that
true.
generally scientists don't claim that they prove things.
Oh, so nothing's actually proven.
Correct. Science does not prove things.
Oh, so they didn't prove that the moon is 238,988 miles away.
They measured it. It is a fact, but you don't use the word prove
It's a fact. So
in a
fact is
scientific
something that can prove
context. Yeah. A fact
So, but
is
a fact
something.
is something that can
A
prove
fact
it.
is based on measurements. But in science,
A fact
you
is
don't.
based on measurements.
Yeah, in science, you don't
You do.
generally. You don't talk about proving things. That's not how science works. So,
So science isn't there to prove a reality.
correct.
They just guess.
No, they don't guess. That's
So-
not the opposite of that's not the other option of prove. That's a false dichotomy. When you've done many tests of a particular hypothesis and related hypotheses, then you have a large amount of evidence, and your questioning of it reduces. Right.
So then
That's
why
what
do you
happens.
So if science has no proof, why is it that science asks for proof?
Science
So,
doesn't ask
like
for proof.
I tell you the earth is flat. Hey, where's my proof?
I
you
say
say
where's
where's-
I
In the
say
name
where's
of
your
science,
I say where's
I
your
don't have to prove
evidence?
anything.
I say where's your evidence? Where's your evidence is what I say. Show me your evidence. Show your
So-
measurements of flatness.
Right. So evidence isn't proof.
Correct. So,
So what is evidence?
how long have you worked in the scientific field?
I'd say about 6 years.
You haven't worked in the scientific field. Clearly, you have not worked in the scientific field, because if you had, then these topics wouldn't come as a surprise to you. That
No,
science
they do come
does
as a
not.
surprise.
That science
They're
does not
not
prove
accurate.
things.
It
Oh,
doesn't match reality.
so you Ipsy Dixit again declare that science is different than what all the scientists actually do.
I don't know, man. I'm lost.
I believe you.